Good afternoon. It is 1:30 and I'm opening the COA Board meeting for the month of September 2020. This meeting is being held virtually through Zoom. The town of Littleton began conducting remote participation Zoom meetings pursuant to Governor Baker's emergency order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law on March 19th, 2020. Since that time, unanticipated legal concerns relating to the open meeting law have been brought to our attention by the town clerk. Those concerns were supported by the Attorney General's office and confirmed by town council. One concern is that the chat function allows a parallel text conversation to a board's public meeting. Chat is essentially running commentary that is occurring, but it is not moderated or followed by the chair. All participants and listeners may not be aware of comments being made because some meeting participants join by phone and do not see these conversations. Another concern is conversations between residents within the chat room, which are not incorporated into the public record. In response to these concerns, the town will implement the following changes, which in no way prohibit any member of the public from participating in discussion and sharing information during a public meeting, and will ensure that all listeners and participants have equal access to this meeting. People that join the Zoom meeting are set so their microphones are muted. If you called in by phone, please use *6 to mute or unmute your phone. So that the meeting can occur in an orderly fashion, we ask that people who join keep their microphones on mute so background noises do not interfere with the meeting. If you wish to participate in the meeting, please use the raise your hand function available on Zoom, or if you called in by phone, dial *9, which will activate the raise your hand function. The meeting host will notify the chairperson of the raised hands, and the chairperson will determine whether and when to allow public comment. When called upon, participants should unmute, then state their name and address. After speaking, we request the participant return their microphone back to mute. This is a live and recorded meeting, just for everyone's information. And also, I would like to ask the board members to make sure that they either put their cell phones on, vibrate or something so that any calls do not interfere with people hearing well. It is sometimes difficult for people that have hearing problems to catch all of the conversation in a Zoom meeting. So please be considerate of that also. Thank you. Excuse me. And here I am making a noise. So it's good to see everyone. It's hard in this day and age to contact people and to feel like you see people regularly. That's for sure. And it is nice. Zoom is really great for that. And I know Maureen Donnelly and I just completed and did our knitting group via Zoom. And we were commenting on how nice it is. Just sometimes we don't knit a whole lot nowadays, but we sit and chat and visit with each other. And it really is a nice way to get in touch and keep communicating. So onward and forward. All right, I do believe we have a quorum present. And as I said, it's good to see everyone. And a reminder that this is an open meeting and we have to follow and adhere to the open meeting rules and laws. Do we have any announcements? I have one in particular, but I'm sure there are others. Ann Lee, do you have anything maybe about your meals at the First Baptist Church? I know you've been talking about that.
Right. Every Monday night through the end of September, we give out free meals to anyone who comes to get them. It's at the First Baptist Church right at the Common. And if you need a meal or know of someone who needs a meal, please feel free to come this evening between 4:30 and 5:30. And like I said, we'll be doing it through the end of September.
That's been really a successful program. Thank you, Ann Lee, for spearheading this for the members of our community. It's been great. So, any other announcements from board members?
I would like to remind everyone that the grab and go for a craft kit is this Wednesday from 1 to 2 and in front of the library. And you can come by and pick up a kit. All of the supplies are there to make note cards. And at the moment, we have 14 people who are coming, and we have plenty more supplies. So if you're still interested, it's not too late to sign up. And Sue, we will be making more kits tomorrow.
Yes, we will.
That's a good way to communicate. So we all know. Great. But this is a first for our viewers. It's a first that Anita and Sue have been working on in trying to get some kind of activity out there and to be able to foster a little bit more, you know, in the sense of having something to do, even though we're not going to be able to do it in a group setting. So I have one announcement, and actually Anita and Susan might want to chime in on this one, but I really want to call our viewers' attention to the EHS COA Highlights LCTV program that has been resumed and is a monthly segment on LCTV. The September version is online now. You can access it. You can see it on your TV. If you have Verizon, I believe it's channel 38. And Comcast, I'm not sure. I was asking about that, but I was told it was either channel 8 or 9. And it will be posted. I don't know. I know if you go on to the LCTV website, on the town website, there is a schedule for the month of September, or for the day, and you can find out when exactly it would be, you know, coming up. But other than that, I'm not exactly sure how to tell you exactly what time of day it would be on, unless Anita or Susan have more information on that. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, you can get it too through the town website. If you click on the LCTV button, it takes you to their on-demand list, and it shows you the different programs that are available on demand, and you can click on the show and see it that way.
Great. Thank you, Susan. This is a monthly show that Susan and Anita have accepted the responsibility for doing for the COA Board. And it's full of information, and some of it's very, very important information, deadlines for applications for different things. And it's not just for seniors, it's for a community-wide show for all ages and all age populations in Littleton. So please do spread the word also to your friends and neighbors and let them know about this. We're trying to find ways to get information out to you people. So.
And I would just like to say, if there's a particular item that someone watching is interested in getting more information, if they contact the COA office, we can put it together and put it on our October show.
Great. That's a good point. Thank you, Anita. So, okay. One last chance. Any other announcements? Okay, let's move on then.
Oh, sorry, Marge.
Yes, Ashley.
Sorry to interrupt here. I don't know if now's the time. I don't know if anyone is in the waiting room, but Diane Loomis, the representative from Middlesex Senior Co-Housing Group, had asked to share the plans for Hager Homestead project.
Right.
So I don't know if she's in the waiting room now or if she plans to join in later during the meeting.
Oh, there she is.
Actually, I was going to invite them. I thought we would get our minutes done and then I was going to invite them to do their.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. As long, and no, I'm just glad that they're here. So,
Okay, great.
no, and we will be doing that brief shortly.
Okay.
So, okay. If there's no other announcements, let's move on and try to get the minutes out of the, we have public input scheduled right now, but I'm asking that we put that off until a little bit later in the meeting. And we move on to accepting our minutes. And we have two sets of minutes. We have the August 10th regular COA Board meeting minutes, as well as the minutes from the COA joint meeting with the Select Board on August 24th. So let's tackle the minutes of August 10th first, our regular COA Board meeting. I know that board members had the copy of those minutes have had those for a few days. And I know we can do that one. The other ones, I know I did not have the copy of the minutes and I sent them out last minute this morning and you might not have had a chance to read them, but if you did and we can approve them, we will. So the minutes of August 10th. Have we had a motion? I will entertain a motion to approve them if there are no concerns.
Maureen's got her hand up.
Maureen, yes.
I move that we accept the August 10th minutes as printed.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mark. All those in favor of approving the minutes of August 10th? I will take a roll call vote, starting with Maureen.
Yes.
All right, Susan.
Yes.
Thank you. Mark?
Yes.
Is Wendy on?
No.
No, okay, well, Anita,
Yes.
Ann Lee,
Yes.
David,
Aye. Hey,
and
William.
Marge is an aye. Did I miss anyone?
Mary.
Mary, oh, Patty, I don't see her, that's why I missed her. Patty, Mary,
Yes.
thank you, and I apologize. All right, the vote is unanimous. Thank you very much. Now I will ask you as board members, do you feel comfortable tackling the minutes of the 24th Select Board joint meeting with the COA Board or not? I know you have not had the minutes long, so what's your
I've read-
feeling? Pardon me?
I've read them.
You read them?
Me too.
Mhm.
Okay.
I did too.
Okay, are you comfortable approving those minutes?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
David has his hand up.
Hi, David. Yes.
Hi, we need to correct the spelling.
Oh, okay. And what
All
we
right.
were, yep,
All right, so if we're gonna approve these minutes, might as well get them right? Okay, so, down near the end, but not all the way down there, it says, Joe asked Marge if some of the friends of the board were at the August 10th meeting, blah, blah, blah. Marge felt the concern by the friends was that they would never get back pace. It should be space.
oh, space, okay.
That's all.
That's the only correction?
It's the only thing I found.
Thank you. Good job, I missed that myself, thank you. So, all right, any other corrections noted? Maureen? No, Maureen has her hand up.
I move we accept the August 24th minutes with the corrected space spelling.
Okay, thank you. Second that, do we have a second?
Second.
I'll second.
Whoops, Ann Lee and Mark right together. We got it really seconded here. So, all right, all those in favor? And if I miss someone out, forgive me, but Maureen,
Yes.
thank you. Susan,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
thank you. Mary,
Yes.
Anita,
Yes.
who else about? Mark,
Yes.
I think that's everybody. Did I miss
Anne
anybody?
Lee, yes.
Ian Lee, I'm sorry.
That's okay,
I
yes.
apologize. Thank you. And Marge is a yes. So we have a unanimous vote again. Thank you very much. We got that taken care of and we can move on. Two, and let me explain. The Hager Homestead project is the area and land, buildings and land, right? I forget.
Sorry.
It's right next to the town hall, and it's the place where Dr. Gruskowski, the dentist, has his practice and his home. And this group is looking to purchase that, and they have, my understanding is they have not purchased it yet, but they've been making proposals to the planning board about development of that space, which would be mainly senior focused living. And they have agreed to come and to present to us their present plans that they presented last Thursday to the planning board, so that we would be knowledgeable about it and understand what they are proposing. It's quite a unique development in many ways. So with that in mind, I do believe we have a representative with us, and I would invite them. I know they're not on the agenda. This came up last week, Thursday, where we thought it would be nice if the board could hear what was being proposed. So Ashley and I invited them to attend the meeting. And I would like to have them do their presentation now, and then we will go back to our regular scheduled agenda items, if that's all right with the board. Okay, thank you. So, do we have our guests with us?
Yeah, hello, this is Diane Loomis.
Hi, Diane. Nice to meet you. I'm Marge.
Hi, Marge. Very nice to meet you. Thank you so much for giving me some time to come and talk to you this afternoon. I really appreciate your time. And I do have some slides I'd like to share. They're not exactly the same as what we presented to the planning board, because some of that was very dry and legal, but what I'm going to try to explain to you is sort of our vision, and I will talk about the plans and the proposal in place, but I also want to talk about our vision for seniors and how the benefits that we really think this project could bring to Littleton seniors. And may I share my screen? I have a few slides to
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Let me see if I get this. Okay, so I can't see. Can you see my screen?
Yes. Yep, we can.
Okay, great. So this is just an introduction to learn about Hager Homestead, which is a proposed senior co-housing community for active seniors. It is 100% senior housing. So all of the units, we're proposing 24 units, they will all be for seniors. So that's defined as at least one person being 55 plus. And that's in the senior residential bylaw. And it's senior co-housing, which is a term you may not be familiar with. Co-housing was developed in Europe. It is really characterized by housing projects that cluster the housing close together so that people are close to their neighbors, and at the same time, then, by clustering the housing, you preserve open space. The co-housing is characterized often by having, or almost always by having, a common house that's shared space, where the whole community can gather, share meals, have places for activities like knitting groups or crafts groups, or sewing groups, yoga or, Tai Chi on the lawn. We focus on, the focus is really on the people. The cars are not allowed to drive through the center of the project. The cars are parked on the outside so that there are accessible walking paths for seniors in between the units and in between the common house. It's also a type of housing where neighbors really commit to being part of the community for everyone's benefit. It provides as much privacy as you want because everybody has their own private home and community once you open your door. And the other thing that co-housing does, you sort of wonder, what is the secret to aging well in place? I think we all want to know that. And traditional cultures in Europe, I think of those Italian villages that are like nestled in the hills, and gosh, you have to walk up and down to get to them and even get to neighbors' houses. What's their secret? Because folks over there, they live into their 90s and 100s, and they lived really well. The secret to aging well in place, I really think, and has been proven by research, is having neighbors nearby who know and care about you, and having neighbors who look out for each other so that no one is really alone. And that's the objective of co-housing, is to create sort of a modern village of neighbors who know and care about each other, like those traditional cultures in Europe. We also know, and we've also experienced an awful lot of social isolation recently. I certainly have. I live alone. The last 6 months have been terrifically hard for me. It must have been really hard for everybody here to have experienced that isolation of not seeing a real person. And it's been proven that, social connectedness, being nearby and actually seeing people, improves both physical and mental health outcomes as we age. And this is going to reduce the load on social services over time. And that's one of the other objectives of senior co-housing. There are some other cool things about co-housing I'll talk about briefly. I've already mentioned some of them. Community-centered design, where the design of the project is focused on the people and not on the cars. We shared amenities, so there's shared common house. The common house is really like the living room for the whole community. Everybody owns part of it. Everyone is welcome there any time of day or night. There's a big shared kitchen there, hopefully. Hopefully a big dining room. I'll show you a layout of what we hope it will look like. And also sharing stuff like lawnmowers and ladders, and why do we each need to have one of those? I sure don't want them. So sharing all that stuff. And again, the community is, the project is structured as a condominium. So it's really not any more complicated than a condominium with an HOA and a shared, some shared spaces like the common house, which is like, a lot of condominiums have a clubhouse. It's just in co-housing, the common house is used a lot more than a typical clubhouse would be used in a typical condominium. Some of the things that we're really excited about, and I know you guys all know where Littleton is located, but we have, this site is so amazingly located for seniors. We have wonderful sidewalks right in front of it that will allow seniors to walk right to the library, right to the senior center, which I think is terribly exciting. There's like nowhere else where we could give seniors this benefit of being able to walk right over to the senior center. And for active seniors, you can follow those sidewalks all the way into town. You can go to Castle in the Trees. There's lots of places that excellent sidewalks can take you to in Littleton. It's a really wonderfully designed town in that way. And this would allow seniors, 24 more senior households, to come live close to the center of town where they could take advantage of that rather than having to get into their cars every time they wanted to go anywhere. And we see that as an advantage. We also love that Littleton has so many just rich and local conservation land already in town. Across the street from the site, there's the Two Brothers Trail that leads up to Long Lake. We're really excited about that. And because so this is Margie, thank you for describing the site location. This is sort of an aerial overhead view of the site. You see the town hall here up on the right-hand side. The Congregational Church is at the front. The whole site is about 15 acres. A lot of the site is a beautiful wet meadow habitat. And the majority of the site will end up with a permanent conservation easement over it. This meadow habitat is the fastest disappearing habitat in the state of Massachusetts, and we would love to put this under conservation and manage the wet meadow habitat so that it will always be there for Littleton residents. And we are proposing to provide a public access trail, which you see in this bright green, that connects the ball fields out behind the town hall and the current library over towards, gives that connection to public land and then to Castle in the Trees. And I know that Cindy Napoli mentioned that the town had been hoping to get this trail access connecting these lands for a number of years. We would like to grant that along with our proposal. That's part of our proposal, to grant public access to walk across this wet meadow and see actually how beautiful it is. You really don't know. You can't see from the street how beautiful it is. There's actually a little pond back here until you walk across it. And it's a nice level path. So that would be part of our proposal. And as you guys all know, what borders it, the town hall and the library, the senior center, as I mentioned, there's a cafe across the street and the Congregational Church. So this is the site. All of the development, which I'm going to show you next, is up in this front corner of the site. So all of the homes are clustered up here. So the rest of the site is left as open space in perpetuity. And we have a plan that we're actually presenting to the Conservation Commission tonight around ongoing management of the wet meadows so that they would stay that way. And we'd have that habitat for both birds and for pollinators. So we're excited about that. Okay, so that's just the historic house of Hager Homestead, where Mr. Grukowski lives today. And down below, you can see a sketch of the plan we presented on Thursday night to the planning board. You can't see, because this is a two-dimensional sketch, that these other buildings are recessed behind the Hager Homestead, the original federal house. So this part of the building goes back about 10 feet. And then this other part, there's a viewway, balconies that you can see right through the buildings. They're separated. And then this third building here is back another 10 feet. Because of the way the land slopes down, you really won't see the whole building from the street because the street level is higher than the actual building level. This is the proposed site plan where you can actually see what I just mentioned, that the common house would, we're proposing that the historical house, which has Hager Homestead on the front of it, become our common house. And we're excited about that because not only would it be a place where we would have shared meals, co-housing communities often are committed to having events that are open to the public. So we would like to have senior-focused events so that we would invite senior members of the community to come into the common house. So you could come in and see this historical house and see, it has a lot of detailing that we're excited, we hope to be able to maintain. It has the original wide floors. It's lovely, and we'd like to share that with the community. So the common house is the most prominent feature on the site. It comes out closer to the street. The next multifamily building that has some home units in it is, as I said, back about, I'm not sure, about 8 to 10 feet. And then there's a break where you can see through, and then there are 2 other units that are also a little further back. We have the cars parking on the periphery. We have carports, and we have open spaces, open car parking spaces and handicap spaces. Then we have some single-story duplex and triplex buildings in the back. And in the middle, we have a common green with accessible walking paths to and from all of the units and down to community gardens. The barn that's on site now is a post and beam barn that we would disassemble and then reassemble back closer to where we would imagine gardening on the site. So the real focus of the design is to keep the people and the neighborhood at the center and keep the cars on the outside. So that's the proposed site plan. This is a proposed view of the common house, the first floor, where we would open up what is now the dining room and sort of a family room area, and that would be our dining area. We'd keep the current kitchen. We have to rebuild the porch in back because it's in tough shape, but we would have a screened porch for dining or whatever else we wanted to do there. There is an elevator. So we're investing in an elevator so seniors have access to all floors. And this obviously wheelchair, walker, accessibility to all floors without having to climb any stairs. And all of the individual living units are also all one floor, single floor with, wheelchair accessibility and maneuverability designed into the design of the units as well as the common house. This is just a rendering of the existing house, and this is what this is very similar to the current floor plan, but how it would become a common house with an open kitchen and dining area, and obviously areas could be screened off for sitting areas, and there's a small library here and a sitting porch. So, and there's more room upstairs and downstairs, all accessible by the elevator for seniors. So I know that there are some questions about sizes and affordability. I'm showing you the site plan again. Again, there's a shared common house, which really adds to the amount of space that you have in your room. As I mentioned, single floor living for all the units, elevator access to all the floors of the common house. The homes range from 750 to 1,350 square feet. Our current proposal includes 6 affordable units, and the current estimated prices range, the affordable units, we have 3 units between $200,000 and $300,000, 2 units between $300,000 and $400,000, 6 units under $500,000, and then 13 units that are more expensive. So we feel that we are offering Littleton the opportunity to have this community, to have units with a range of type of unit, a range of size, and also a price range. I know that some Littleton seniors really need, really affordable units. I also know from a survey I read recently that 65% of Littleton seniors own their homes. So this might be a way to enable Littleton seniors who have a home that's further out, that requires a lot of driving, to downsize to a smaller unit with lower maintenance costs because it's all brand new, and close to town. So you could walk to town, walk to the library, walk to the senior center. So that's really a summary of the proposal, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Diane.
Welcome.
That was very
David,
informative. Yes, David, go ahead.
yeah, I have a question. I wanted to ask, the parking is separate from the units, the elder units. I was just wondering about transporting groceries and stuff, what the distance would be for that and how that's treated in the winter.
We plan on having rolling carts available, and you can actually drive up to the handicap spaces right in front of the, right in front. There are 3 handicap spaces that will get you to the elevator. There's also parking that's quite close here for people who choose to live in the single floor cottage style units back here. There are still, there are wide pathways, and all of this would be cleared, if there was snow or something like that. All of it would be shoveled then or plowed by the HOA. But most co-housing communities, there's a co-housing community in Acton that's been there for 25 years, and it's actually on the side of a hill. The residents now are all seniors, and they have those great 2-wheeled barrels with the great big wheels, and that's what they use to transport their groceries.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there other questions for Diane? Mark, do you have your hand up? Mark, please.
Yes. Is there an idea what the fees associated with this will be, the homeowners' fees?
That's a really tough question because it's not built yet. But on Thursday, that same question came up at the planning board, and I think we made the estimate was between $300 and $400. And that would include all snow removal, all the landscaping, all the trash and exterior maintenance and all of that. So, but it's sort of hard to say. That's
Okay.
a really rough estimate.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there other questions for Diane? Yes, Annalee. Unmute. There we go.
Oops. I can't hear you.
You're back. You're muted again.
Unmute.
Unmute. Unmute, Annalee. She's trying to. Oh. Keep trying.
Well, let me,
Go ahead, Diane. Oh,
I'm going to wait. I know she'll get it. lower left-hand corner. In the meantime, I wanted to qualify my answer to Mark. The fees for the affordable units would be subsidized. So some of the fees for the lower price units, the HOA fees would be less than what I quoted. That was fees for the market rate units. So I hope that's helpful. And did you get, oh, you're unmuted. Ask your question.
Well, I just didn't know, is that $300 a month or $300 a year?
No, that's a monthly fee.
Monthly.
And that would be prorated for the affordable units. So it would be significantly lower. I think like maybe half or less for the very lowest price units, the ones in the 2s and 3s.
Okay, thank you.
David still has another question.
Go ahead, David.
Yeah, are those the lower rated units, are those going on a lottery?
There are 2 80% units that would be lottery, and we have offered both of those to be local choice units. So the preference would go to, they would just be a lottery for Littleton residents or people who have work in Littleton or have students in the schools.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Anita.
I guess I just have a comment that this is a senior facility,
Mhm.
a senior community center,
Mhm.
but yet you've got units that are 400,000 and 500,000.
Mhm.
That just blows my mind that you expect a 65 or 70 or 80-year-old person to be able to afford that. It's just a comment I have.
Mhm. Well, seniors come in all ages, and that's why we have as 6 affordable units that are in the lower price ranges.
Additional questions for Diane? Anyone?
I have one more question. Do you
Yep.
have a time frame on this? When you're hoping to?
We're hoping to get permits. It's sort of hard to say unless we get permits, we can't move forward. If we did get permits, we would hope to start building next year and hope to have it done in 2022.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
So I'm thinking myself that yes, this is actually a senior housing development. And I guess what I think I heard Diane kind of saying was that there are some seniors, when she talked about the fact early on that there are seniors in town, a lot of seniors in town do own their own homes, and therefore might be able to afford, the higher end units. But it is, in actuality, it's a senior development with amenities, but not much different than a regular development with a couple of more, affordable units, with a few affordable units, essentially. But the difference in my mind is the amenities that are offered in the common space and the whole concept of the co-living, that whole concept, European concept. So I guess that's the difference. And it's not really, I know we are very concerned about the lack of affordable living areas for seniors in Littleton, and we have ways to go here in town before we have apartments and things of that nature, which would be less money for people. So, but it sounds desirable and lovely. It's an interesting concept, and I thank Diane for presenting it and helping us to understand it.
Yeah, thank you, Marjorie. I really think the community aspect of it is really what's unique and what's drawn me as I am a senior actually, and I do live alone, and the isolation is really, really hard. I moved to Westford 4 years ago. I wanted to move to Littleton, but I couldn't find anywhere, like I couldn't find a condo to buy there. So moved here, and I haven't met one person here, and it's terribly lonely. And so that's what really draws me towards community type of living.
Yeah. It seems as though there is a need for that, certainly.
It does seem like there is. That's my understanding. And my hope is that we could bring this so that we could invite Littleton seniors of all, because we are providing some affordable units. I mean, it's not an affordable, the objective of the project is not to provide affordable housing, it's to provide senior housing at a range of prices. So we can't, solve all your problems of affordable housing, but we hope we can help with some affordable units.
Well, thank you. Any other questions from board members?
I guess I have a comment rather than a question. I think what Diane just said is one of the most important things with this project, that it isn't being promoted as an affordable housing for Littleton, for seniors. Yes, there are affordable units, but it's being presented as a very unique concept. And I think that concept of co-housing is something that people just have to start wrapping their heads around. I watched the planning board meeting from the other night, and I was really rather disheartened that they got very hung up on the affordable piece of it, rather than seeing the uniqueness and the concept. But that's my opinion.
Well, I thank you, Susan, and
I really appreciate your comment, and I guess I would ask I can leave out if the Council on Aging could felt like they wanted to endorse or support our project. I think it would I would really appreciate it, and it might make a difference. Because it is indeed what Susan just said, that we're bringing is senior housing with an affordability component. We're not affordable housing developers,
Right.
It's the community aspect that we're all passionate about. That's really what is important to us, is providing community for seniors.
thank you. That's a good summary, Diane, I think, too, and a good point. I agree with Susan. Susan, I did watch the planning board meeting myself too, after the fact, but yeah. So I can understand why Susan made the remark she did. So yeah. So, all right, board members.
I see Maureen's
hand is up. Yes, thank you.
I just have a question about the affordable units. Are they being subsidized in any way by the town?
No. The affordable units that are currently being proposed are subsidized 100% by the individuals, including myself, who are pre-owners of this. So we are providing over $1 million. There's not a penny of town money in there.
Thank you so much, Diane.
Marge?
Yes, I'm sorry, Susan.
That's okay. I have another question for Diane. How many, or do you have, and if you do, how many couples or families or seniors that are committed to this if it's built?
So we're all, we call ourselves households, because some of us are couples and some of us are individuals. We have between 10 and 12, we think. We've had some dropout, so we're concerned about that, given recent events. In order to proceed with a development of this type, we need to have pre-sales in order to get the development loan to actually build it. This is not a developer-run project. We have paid a developer to help us for a fee, but the developer isn't putting his money in.
And how many units is that?
Pardon?
How many, you said in order to proceed, you needed a certain number to
Oh.
commit.
Oh, well, in order to get the development loan, we'll need to, we need more than we have now. I don't know how many exactly.
Okay.
And they would have to sign a contract with you before things started. These people would have to agree and sign a contract before the development would get started.
People would choose to essentially make, you know how when you decide to buy a house, you go and put a down payment on it and then you
Right.
buy the house.
Yeah.
In this case, you're deciding to buy a house, but before it's built. So it's the same kind of thing. You have to put the down payment on it before it's built.
Marge,
Yes, Mary.
I was at the meeting the other day, and I iterate the comment that Susan made. It is such a whole new concept, particularly in this country. It's very European. And people need to know that, one, it's not a nursing home. Two, it's not an assisted living. And I think you need a graft that'll say, this is a nursing home, this is an assisted living, this is co-housing. You need a visual, because I worked in human services, nursing home, assisted living, not co-housing. So it's not understood.
Right.
It's a fantastic concept. In all honesty, I understand it totally. And I said the other night, if something happened to my husband, I'd jump on the wagon. But here in Littleton, we keep emphasizing affordability for seniors because we don't have in Littleton a place you can downsize to if you want to get rid of your house. We don't have apartments. We don't have condos. And yet now we're hearing this new co-housing, but we really don't know what it is. And when you look at 50% of them are over $500,000, that's a lot of money. So the first thing that pops into our mind is it's too much. But when you look at the real estate in this area of the country, it's not a lot of money. So we're balancing all of this with this, and this, and it's a lot to comprehend. So what do we focus on? We focus on the dollar. But I think, I mean, you can laugh, but I think that's what seniors focus on. And we're going to focus on that if we don't understand co-housing. And if 50% of them are over $100,000.
But that means 50% are under. But 50% are under.
Pardon me?
50% are under 500,000 too.
Well, I agree, but that's not what's going to be the focus here. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't understand the concept of co-housing.
Yeah.
I think a graph would go a long way in your
I
presentation.
think that's a great idea. Thank you very much, Mary. It's a great idea.
Quiet now.
And I know there's I think I understood from the planning board meeting, though, there's some urgency on moving ahead as far as the planning board goes. So, but I do think education and getting the word out to the public is really key here too, and helping people understand so that the planning board can, also understand maybe too.
Oh, any suggestions you have, I'd be happy to hear what they
Well,
are.
thank you. I appreciate your coming and sharing with us because it's been enlightening, I think, for all of us, for sure. So, are there any other questions for Diane before we let her go? I guess not. Thank you, Diane. It's been very informative and I know for me, very helpful. So,
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity to chat with you guys. I am going to leave the meeting. I have another meeting I have to.
okay. But thank you. And certainly we'll talk about it. We will discuss it a little bit. So.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. That was a great presentation. And moving on, I don't know. Do we have anyone from the Friends with us today? Nicole, are you still there? Who's doing my co-host? Yep, Nicole, where are you?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Do we have anyone from the Friends? I don't see anyone myself.
No.
No, okay. All right. So for the Friends report, though, the board did get a copy of their minutes from their July meeting. It was in the information I sent out to you all. And there wasn't much, they really have not done much there. As far as they haven't had a lot of activity because of COVID. So I guess we will skip right over the Friends report then.
Maureen has her hand up.
Maureen, yes. I'm
Marge,
sorry.
That's quite all right. Can you tell me the status of the thrift shop?
As far as it being cleaned out or
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Maybe
So that Amy will have a space.
Ashley probably can give us the most current situation because it's now in the hands of Joe and Ashley to coordinate with the Friends. If I'm not mistaken, Ashley, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
So let me see. Thrift shop clean out started this past Friday. So Barbara and her team have started to clean out the thrift shop area. She was also here this morning with 2 Friends members, I believe. So progress is being made. I also extended the offer that Council on Aging board members have offered to assist with the move if she needs or they need additional assistance. So she does know that the offer is there from the Council on Aging board and appreciates that, but things are moving along.
Okay. Yes, Maureen? Maureen,
Maureen, you're muted.
Okay. I understand Nancy is here.
well, I don't see her. Is she on the phone?
I don't know.
I don't see her here.
Yeah, I don't see her anywhere.
I
No.
just have a thing. Nancy is here and is waving.
I don't know where she is. I don't see her either. Amber's with us. I don't.
According to my screen, she's not in here.
Oh. Maureen, can you let her know? We don't see her at all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She might want to try and drop out and come back on.
Oh, that's a good point, Mark. Ashley, is there a deadline or any time frame for the final cleanup for the room to be vacated, emptied?
The date, September 21st, is ringing a bell to me.
Questionable, the 21st. Okay.
I'll have to look into that, but I believe that was the date that was agreed upon.
Okay. So that's still another week, which is yeah, it's a job that has to get done, so. And I'm waiting a little bit to see if we can get Nancy in, but in the meantime, wow, Maureen, did you share with Nancy to get out and come back in?
I did, and she said, okay.
Okay, so why don't we just move along a little bit? Because of time, I don't want to keep us, and it's already 2:30. If we can move on and just touch on the goals, and I can start that topic, is that okay with the board? And if Nancy does get in, we can go back to that and let her speak. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the situation with our goals. I sent out to you a couple of months ago, I think now, because we've been postponing dealing with our goals. But you have a copy of the goals that we had set for 2019, 2020. Let me just give you an update as to where the select board is with goals, because that is pertinent to us and our consideration and discussion of our own goals. A week ago today, the select board finalized their goals for the season for 2020, 2021. And if you've been following that, they had a packet of many pages, different, departments and things that they looked at and that they wanted to get accomplished. This past Monday, they selected 5 areas and 5 of the topics, the departments that they had targeted as to and decided that they would be their priorities for this year. The first priority was the sewer system. And they have goals there that they want to be working on. The second priority of the select board is a senior center. And I think that's very pertinent and we need to be aware of that. Their plan is to have one member, there's 5 priority areas, 5 select board members. And they're going to organize themselves so that one select board member is overseeing or working on, one of the 5 priorities. I do not know who that will be for seniors, and I don't remember the other 3 because I was so excited when I heard that the senior center was the second priority on their list. So I know. So then I have explored it a little bit further, and the select board is asking us specifically to define our vision for our new EHS COA space, including what the space should be called. So if we've been asked to do that by the select board, I'm suggesting to us and to you that might be our goal for the senior center. And we need to discuss that further, within that frame of reference, defining our vision and what the space would look like and what it should be called. So, and then get back to them. And so we need to talk about that a little bit. Are we still waiting for Nancy?
I just asked her if she's back on and she says that she is.
I don't see her.
I don't see her either. I don't know
She's
where.
not under panelists or attendees. I don't see her.
I know. I don't understand that either. I can't see her. Amber, do you see her at all? Oh, Amber's.
No.
Okay. I don't know what to tell her, Maureen. Just let her know that even LCTV can't find her. And we'll move on then, I think.
Maybe
She might
she
wanna-
could,
Yes?
Sorry, she might have clicked through on the wrong link too. I came through on the link from the COA agenda off of the town website, but sometimes the links get messed up on different, if you're coming
Oh.
from a different thing, so.
She says she's on TV and online.
I don't know what TV she's on or what.
Is she seeing us?
Can she?
I just used the agenda that I sent out to you and clicked on that link. I didn't go on to the town website.
Maureen, how is it that you hear her and see her and nobody else can?
She's texting Maureen.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I don't have any other information.
Maureen, is it possible for you to email her our agenda and then she can just pop up on that?
I can try.
Because our agenda has it there and then she can just log in that way maybe.
I can try.
That's a good idea.
That is a good idea. Thank you. All right. Well, while we're waiting, can we take things out of order again?
Sure.
I planted a seed about as far as goals go, and if we don't get into a lengthy discussion today, I would like all of you to be thinking about that, though. We need to address that whole issue for the senior center, and that should be one of our primary goals for this year, I think. But I'm suggesting then that Maureen's busy trying to help. Are you still busy trying to help me?
I am. I'm just trying to send her the link.
So therefore, I'm going to suggest that maybe we could move on. We're really disorganized as far as following the agenda, but maybe we could move on to the Outreach Coordinator's monthly report.
There you go.
Pardon me?
I have a question about the goals.
Oh, sure, Susan. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Last year when we had the focus groups,
Yeah.
we did discuss quote unquote vision and names and so forth.
Yeah.
Do we have a feeling from that information that would at least guide us somewhere?
We do have information. There were notes taken with those focus groups, and I know I don't think Ashley's had time to delve into that yet, but I did share with her the fact, and it was Amy and Nicole, I think, that were taking the notes. But there is some information there that I'm sure would be helpful. I think also we need to ask, Ashley's still getting her feet on the ground, so it's, yeah. That's why I think we're not going to be able to come to a conclusion today at all as to how we want to attack it.
Right.
But
there are also a lot of papers from the Christmas fair that we stood at the table and handed out papers, and they came back and they went to Liz's office as they came back. So they should be there somewhere, and they were going to have, people were going to submit ideas that they would like to see.
I remember that. We were handing them out at the fair. Bob Stetson was doing
That's right. And they should be, they were going back to Liz's office.
I don't know where they are, but we can, Ashley, maybe you can ask, or maybe Nicole might know or have a sense of that, but Ashley could follow up on that too. So that's a good point. I had forgotten about those. Thank you, Anita.
Marge?
Yes.
Wasn't there a formula for X number of space per senior? And didn't we come up with somewhere around 18 to 20,000?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, we did.
Remember those numbers?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
we did.
okay.
And you also, you know, we have to remember that we have to include space. It's not just senior housing, senior space, that it is elder, you know, and human services space. So, yeah. But 20,000 square feet was roughly where, I mean, we have like 1,300 square feet now. And we were talking about needing 20,000 square feet.
Right.
So, yeah.
And that was going to take us like 5 years out.
Right. To 10 years, 2030,
Right.
I think. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So, and maybe, Maureen, are you still helping Nancy?
I have not gotten any more texts. I asked her to log out and then to try and log back in. I said I sent you the link.
Okay, we'll wait and see what happens then. All right. The other thing that I would like the board under, let's check the time here. It's 2:40. Our goals, we have the housing initiative and the affordable housing issues that we still need to be paying attention to. And I'm wondering, I know that I started to look into that myself, and that's how I discovered the Hager Homestead thing was on the agenda with the planning board this past week. I asked Patty if she could, attend that meeting. I was unable to do that Thursday evening. But I am wondering if we could have a board member that would be willing to keep in touch with the planning board and follow what's going on with them as far as affordable housing goes. Susan, yes.
I take that on.
You'd like to do that?
I would love to do that.
Oh, well, I would love to let you do that.
Good for you, Susan.
Yes.
I've been following the planning board for a long time, not just on that issue, but definitely that issue.
Great. If you would be willing to do that and alert us when there are meetings and things that we should be paying attention to, okay. I think, if you could do that, that would be big help. So thank you.
Sure.
And that, is, we need to think about writing a goal for the next year too, under the affordable housing initiative category somehow. I just wanted to mention that and in turn and make sure that we had somebody that was monitoring it. I try to monitor the select board meetings, but sometimes it gets overwhelming. So thank you. All right.
I'm not quite sure that monitoring is what the planning board is, but
well, you're right. I agree.
I know what you meant.
Well, the other suggestion I'm wondering about having is, the whole subject of goals, and certainly for the senior center, I think that would be quite a bit of work. And maybe I'm wondering, I would like to suggest that we develop a COA subcommittee to work with Ashley. Ashley is, still learning what's gone on in the past, never mind trying to wrap her head about what's happening around her and where we need to go and the information and all of that. So I'm thinking it might be helpful to her if we had a subcommittee, COA subcommittee of maybe 3 board members, and Ashley would obviously participate. I could participate as the chair, or you could have 4 board members. I don't know what you think as a group, but we do not have any of our subcommittees that are active now. We can create a subcommittee. It means that we take minutes, the meetings get posted, and that's fine. We can do that. But I'm suggesting maybe we ought to consider that, and that would might be helpful to Ashley to be able to guide us and get her thoughts together too. So what are your thoughts on that?
I would be part of that.
Do you think as a board that would be a good way to approach this?
Yes, I would be part of it.
Okay.
I agree.
So, I agree. I would like to be part of that too. But one thing that you're kind of alluding to on some of these things, Marge, but not actually saying is the program for the building needs to be separate from the actual building, right? What I think you're trying to say, or maybe I'm putting words in your mouth, but you need to come up with what you need in a building independent of the location of the building.
That's true.
Right. We need to, those two shouldn't be conflated. So
well, that's true. And yeah. Go ahead.
So you want to come up with a program rather than focusing on the actual facility. So that's the goal, not to have a senior center built this year or started construction. You want to come up and say that this is when we have a building, this is what we need in the building, and then we'll come up with a plan for a building next year.
That's exactly right. And I think that's why when we were asked to define our vision,
right,
it's for EHS COA space. It's just referred to as space, not what the building is going to be or anything, Mark, you're right.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I think the subcommittee might be helpful. Ashley, what are your thoughts on that? You, as the new director, obviously will play a key role in this. So what would be most helpful to you?
I think that would make sense to work with a team and coming up with a list of questions that we could poll other council on agings in the area to see what their program looks like and where they operate out of, whether it be a standalone senior center or a community center. I know that is a larger discussion for us to have. Probably not right now, but something to consider. And I think too, looking at Massachusetts as the Commonwealth to see which council on agings are under which umbrellas and what they title themselves. So there is a lot of research that needs to be done and has to be thoughtful. And if people want to participate in a task force or a subcommittee, we could conquer more and bring back more information to present to the entire board.
All right. Thank you. That's good. Then we'll proceed, I think, and move ahead to do that, at least establish that today. So we have Mark and Anita, who have said they're interested in serving on a subcommittee of this nature. Anyone else? Susan? Oh, she's going to be busy. You are really going to be a busy lady. And Susan?
Patty.
And Patty. Okay, that sounds like a pretty good group, I think. And then you have, I would, as the chair, I'm usually an ex officio non-voting person, but could be present at meetings, and Ashley. So we have Mark, Anita, Susan, Patty.
And not Anley?
Anley, did she have her hand up too?
Yeah, she was waving.
Oh, I didn't even see. I don't see everybody. I can't see the waves. And I don't get notified here. Ann Lee would like to work on that too. All right. Well, the more the merrier.
5.
Ann Lee. Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5.
I'll back out.
Patty, you're going to back out. Okay. So we will be back to 4. Okay.
Okay.
If we
Mark,
need, yes.
I have a message from Nancy.
Yes.
I am on LCTV and watching on television. Lots of problems not connecting with LCTV to you. Not to worry, I can hear you. I can see you. I don't have anything to add to your comments about the thrift shop, except that we can't wait to reopen. Good luck and thank you for trying to get me on. When you talk about space, remember the friends space needed for our functions and another space for the thrift shop.
Okay. Thank you, Maureen.
You're welcome.
I don't understand what the problem was, but
I don't know.
thank you for trying. So we have a subcommittee. What are we going to call it? A senior center subcommittee? What would you like it to be called?
I think that's a good idea. Senior Center Subcommittee. Senior Center Development.
Senior Space Subcommittee? Senior, whatever. What do you think, board?
EHS Vision Committee.
EHS what, David?
EHS Vision Committee.
Oh, that
That's
sounds nice. I like that.
That's what I want. I was just going to say that.
Okay.
EHS Vision Committee.
Yes.
Subcommittee.
Subcommittee.
Yep.
Okay.
Great. Thank you all. So that we can at least start to get organized and proceed in this direction. So I appreciate your help and effort. Okay. Now quickly moving on. I'm trying to get done so that I'm not keeping you too long here today. There are other comments for goals. Are we all set for the time being? And then we'll carry this forward to our next meeting.
Do we want to have anything about safety for EHS with regard to people being able to come in?
That's what Ashley will speak to that in a few minutes, I think.
Okay.
Okay. Under new business, though, we have I have to formally, we had a little confusion. Maureen has been our representative on the Affordable Housing Trust. And it's a board appointment. But she knew that her term was up, and so she got herself reappointed anyway. And so I'm formally reappointing her as the COA representative to the Affordable Housing Trust, even though, you know, she already got it there. But if anybody's upset because they wanted to take her place and, you know, have that appointment, then let me know. I'm sorry it happened, but that's what
Just gonna
happened.
say, please
Yeah.
let me know. I'll be more than willing to let someone else do it.
She's done a great job, and I think, do you have any updates for us real quick?
I do. So I know that the emergency fund, Nicole, I believe, was up to 10 or 11 people who were getting subsidized for their rent. As of last month, there were no people on the emergency fund. We are looking at 2 or 3 different areas in the town that may or may not become places where there would be affordable housing. And I think that's about it for right now.
Okay.
We're looking at our goals as well.
Yeah, well, it's that time of year.
Yes.
So, that sounds great, though, and it's exciting. I think the Affordable Housing Trust has really been very active, and things are moving along. So that's a plus, in spite of the fact that we still struggle with affordable housing. But at least things are happening slowly. They are happening, though.
With respect to the emergency rent,
Yes.
we only had money for 10. Is that true? Or could we have more than 10?
Nicole?
Apply.
For the emergency rental,
Yeah.
it's not, because the amount of assistance available to people is dependent on their apartment size. It's a dollar amount that we have, so it will change based on what kind of applicants we have. So it's not a number of applicants, it's a dollar amount.
Okay, could you keep St. Vincent de Paul in mind? The situation is that since March, we've had no calls.
Yeah. We actually just
And-
got our first 2 completed emergency rental assistance
We're just
applications.
wondering what's happened to everybody and is everybody safe or needing help? So if you're not able to give them immediate help, would you sort of send them over to us and we'll see what we can do?
Sure, yeah.
Because, you know, we just feel like we're on duty, but we don't get any calls.
Yeah, that's so strange.
So I don't,
Yeah.
you're not asking for food or housing or bills or anything. So I don't know if it's the stimulus money that's helping them or what.
Yeah, that's strange. We'll definitely keep you in mind.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Anita. That's a good point. Okay. Anything else about, you know, affordable housing and the housing trust? If not, I would like to get on to I know Ashley has some information for us that she wants to share. And most of you, I think, know that Ashley is going to be presenting to the select board this evening. I believe it's at 6:30 tonight. And she's going to be presenting, I'll let her explain, but just let you know that that's happening, and it would be nice if you can watch. So if you're not planning on it now. So I'm going to move on to, if it's okay with everybody, to the director's report. And Ashley can speak to tonight's presentation and everything. We're going to let her take the floor, so to speak.
Sure. Do you want me to just reiterate what I submitted yesterday, or?
You mean your report?
Yes.
And if you want to highlight anything on that, you know, that you think would be pertinent, and also explain to them what your memo, I did send that out to them also. So, but if you can just summarize, and you know, what you think is important for the board to hear. So, you've had a busy month, busy month. You've been here a month and you've done a lot, so.
All right, so I'll just go ahead with my report. So since starting on August 10th, I've gained a better understanding of the Elder and Human Services Department, overall operations, and learned the scope of my role in the department and within the larger community. Feel fortunate to have a great team that has informed me of the day-to-day operations, and we have brainstormed ways to expand, increase programs and services during the pandemic. As I started this new role in the community, I wanted to reach out and gain a better understanding of how our department operates within the community and how we can develop, strengthen community partnerships moving forward. Speaking of partnerships, I did reach out to Sam Alvarez, the library director, and currently working with him to set up a virtual program with Ashton Applewhite, and she is the author of the book, This Chair Rocks, a Manifesto Against Aging. In the coming months, I'm really excited about this, and I think that speaks to the beauty of virtual programs, because I know she does not live in Massachusetts, but we're able to be a part of the knowledge that she has and what she can provide us with. Nicole and I also have had numerous conversations with Joe and the fire chief as it comes to scaling up the operations of the EHS department, which speaks to the memo which was written on September 10th regarding program expansion for the Department of Elder and Human Services. Some folks have asked, you know, what has the department been up to these days? And while it's not business as usual, we are operating differently since the pandemic. Some of the items that we've been working on continued placing wellness phone calls. We receive regular inquiries. We're also seeing new people who need assistance with errands, access to food, technology assistance. Just highlighting outreach here. Outreach provided assistance to 433 individuals with 2,988 contacts from March 13th to September 10th. Transportation also resumed early August on a limited basis. And for us, we have been providing several virtual programs, but we know that virtual programs are not conducive for everyone. Some people don't have access to the technology. Other people do have access to the technology, but have a hard time communicating on an online platform. And what is really missing across all Council on Aging is the fact that we're unable to interact in person, which we're all missing out on. And that is what I'm going to bring up this evening during the Board of Selectmen meeting to discuss our plans for program expansion. And we have been in touch with regional Council on Agings and other senior centers within the state to see what they have and what their plans are operationally as they look to expand programs. It is specific by municipality, so working closely with Joe, Cheryl, the finance director, town council, and figuring out a plan that best serves the safety of everyone involved. So happy to expand more in anything that I wrote within the director's report, but also want to be mindful of everyone's time as well.
I have a quick one.
Sure.
Has there been talk of, one of the things that I think has been missing in this whole pandemic thing is, and it's probably affects the seniors more than some others, is training on how to use the online platforms like Zoom or Google Meets, right? So there's the whole technology thing that if you don't know how to use Zoom, it's really hard to use. And there's, I mean, personally, I have meetings in about 4 or 5 different ones of these platforms. So I don't know if we can partner with like the library and LCTV to try and help people walk through this, either as like a workshop or like something that they can record and broadcast, you know, to show people how to use Zoom and kind of walk through and Zoom's just the one platform. I think Google's probably another one that you have to do, and there might be other ones too, but at least the popular one, so people know how to use the platform and could actually set up their own meeting, right? If they wanted to, you know, have a video call with their kids or their friends or someone else, that they could figure it out. So I think a program like that could be coordinated between, like I said, those three different departments would work well: the library, the COA, and LCTV. So
It's funny that you bring that up, or not funny, but timely, as I had a conversation just on that score this past Friday with our technology volunteer. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't want to continue talking over the phone line because it's hard enough trying to figure out who's speaking at once. But I had this conversation this past Friday with Bill Vales, our technology volunteer, and he does a lot of work with LCTV. And he said he actually had computer classes here before we shut down on a weekly basis, and he had quite a crowd, and he's been in touch with those folks, and he's been helping people. But I don't think we've organized a program like this, but it was on our minds to explore. And I know folks that, you know, we're offering our assistance as staff. So if people have questions, feel free to call in. I know Amy has assisted some residents with their technology needs as well. But you bring up a good point, Mark. And I think once people become comfortable, maybe they're able to participate in more of the online offerings that many people are turning to now due to the pandemic.
it's also something you need to approach from the accessibility point of view too, because I know like Zoom has different accessibility issues than Google Meets and things. So, but thank you. And if you need help with this, I'm willing to help.
Oh, good.
Too. So.
Excellent.
Great. Other questions for Ashley? Great. Okay. Do you need any more time, Ashley? Are you okay with?
Well, I thought about going through the whole board report that I sent, but I think folks had a chance to read through it, and really highlighting the fact that we're working on expanded partnerships in the community with the library, for example. That's a good example of how we're working with them, and just continuing to branch out and to reinvent our department during the pandemic. Everyone has been more than open with their ideas. We're just waiting for some guidance, and hopefully we'll get that this evening.
Great.
And I'll be there tonight, Ashley, if there are questions.
Oh, okay, great.
Yep. I think a few of us will be there if you need us. So.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have one more question. When the thrift shop is empty, what are the plans for moving in? If they're out on Monday, is there then like another, we're leaving the room vacant for a few days, or what's the plan for actually utilizing the space once the thrift shop is cleared out?
That's a good question, Mark. I know the plan was to use the space for Amy's office, so she has the ability to meet with clients within that space. I don't know what the plans are in terms of how they're going to reconfigure the room with technology and making sure that's all handled. I'll have to get back to you on that, but I would suspect a pretty quick turnaround in terms of the room being utilized.
And Joe is on that, right?
Yep.
Yes, yes.
Joe has been working closely with Ashley for the board's just general information. Joe Layden has been working really closely with Ashley over this whole effort as far as getting the space cleaned out so that it then can be, fitted appropriately with whatever is needed and done fairly quickly, I think. So I'm
And
hopeful.
then we can advertise those services again too.
Well, they're still providing the services. They never stop. Tell me. The issue is having to have them contact. I know just last week I had a call from someone who really needed help. And I really urged this person to get hold of Amy and said to her this person, that we were, you can get into the building if you have an appointment now. And now, right now, Amy can use, it's not ideal, but she can use either room 230 or 233. She has no computer and no phone, but, at least she can meet with a person individually. She can, there's spaces there, but it's not, certainly less than ideal, really. But anyway, because people want that one-to-one contact when they're first meeting somebody for the first time too. So the other thing I would like to just say, I know that one of Ashley's biggest concerns is the loneliness aspect of COVID and what that has done to, even as Diane Loomis was saying, she's lonely herself. And I know this is one of Ashley's pet things that she's been really talking about and working on. So just want to share that with people because she's trying very hard to help in that area and have EHS be and the COA be a vehicle to help seniors get through this. So. Okay.
And I think too, just piggybacking on what you said, Marge, I think the whole loneliness, social isolation, those were challenges that people faced before the pandemic. And now I think all different types of generations are realizing what a challenge, an issue these two subjects are. And we really need to put in a concerted effort to kind of tackle and figure out what we can do to keep people connected, engaged, and involved, knowing the long-term impacts it has on people's health and quality of life. So yes, I'm very passionate about this area. I could talk to anyone offline about it. And if you have ideas for me in terms of how to reach out to people in ways that we haven't thought of, I'd be more than happy to listen to anyone who wants to speak about it.
Right. Any of our viewers, pass the word along to others too. And, because it's the people that are experiencing it that might have the best ideas of all. So, and really feeling it. So.
Can I ask a question on that? When are we calling people? Are we just doing telephone calls? Are we doing video calls? Or because I think having a video call probably would help even more combat some of the loneliness, because now you're not just hearing someone, you're seeing them too. So if we could set up things to figure out how to do, just even it's like back to the Zoom thing, just to Zoom people in at different times, right? And figure out how to connect people over Zoom that don't normally get to interact, or maybe they interacted before and they're not now. So.
Good point, Mark. Thank you. You're right. Okay.
I think that's an excellent idea. And I know we have a list of folks that Amy, Nicole, Sue, they reach out to, but we still know that we're not reaching out to everyone. I just realized that this is a public meeting. So if people are watching this at home and they have ideas too, we welcome those ideas and suggestions. I think too, with Zoom or Zoom, Google Meet, whatever you use for a platform, there's a little bit of a digital divide. But like you said, Mark, if we could get people educated on how to use the technology and encourage it, then maybe that's another way to connect with folks that were a little leery in the beginning, because like I said, this is 7 months. 7 months. And you don't realize the days passing by until you realize the accumulation of time and how much time we've missed. And, you know, we really just want to reach out and continue to be connected and brainstorm different ways. I think Council on Agings have really stepped up and rebranded themselves in a way to stay relevant and to stay on people's minds, because what we don't want is for people to forget about us and knowing the services that we provide to the community.
Maybe there's a way too where we can have 17 people in the multi-purpose room that we could start having weekly coffee chats, either out on the patio or in that room, if the fire and Board of Health would sanction that. Because then people could come in and just sit around and chat for an hour and leave. And they would, you know, you've got to get the people back together somehow. It can't always be on Zoom. You know, we need to have that person-to-person contact as well.
And we have people we know that are afraid to come out too, and that, you know, so there's
Yes.
that whole range. You're right.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think part of our plan too is a hybrid model, which I think is going to be the same for many industries moving forward, giving people the option to come in if it's approved, and participate, but also Zooming people in as well. So you have
Right.
the option to participate at home, or if you want to come in, you have that option as well. So really, you know, thinking creatively, leaning on the IT team here, and figuring out a plan that works best and what feels good for everyone involved.
Right. We're headed in the right direction. I'm confident. So.
Can I add 2 plugs for technology? So people that might not be aware, there is free internet available if you have a laptop or whatever to bring to the town hall. You can hook up to the library or the town's free internet service. Also, the library is open for computer use by appointment. So people that don't have computers at home or internet at home can come up to the library or call the library, make an appointment, and come in and use the computer. So there is technology available for those that might not have home access.
Great. Thank you, Mark, for getting that out there.
Maureen's hands up.
Maureen, thank you.
I also received a text message from Nancy that says the thrift shop has phone connections.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Thank you. All right.
Just passing the word.
Thank you. You're our intermediary there. Thank you. Okay, then. I think, Ashley, are we done with the director's report? I think. Yes.
I think so. I think we'll have more to speak on after tonight's meeting.
Okay. Then I'd like to move on to the outreach report, and Nicole's been co-hosting here and helping me, and also she has that report. So, and I know, can you really highlight the CHNA 15 collaborative grant and explain that to folks, Nicole, please?
Sure. Yeah.
Great.
So I'll start with that. So the Chna 15 grant, I had worked on with the towns of Acton and Boxborough back in January, I think. We applied as the 3 towns for a grant, and we got it. It was a $30,000 grant. And so our goal is to provide programming to combat isolation, mental health issues, substance abuse issues. So as of right now, we've just started with these programs, and they're all virtual for right now, but the grant goes until next December. So there is the possibility that we will be able to have in-person programming coming up soon. Or, not soon, but next year. So with that grant, we have a mindfulness and meditation 6-week series coming up starting in October. And we also had today, there was a virtual presentation on social isolation. So we're just getting started with these programs, but we'll be having more to come with that. What else do I have? Amy has started doing the Eoea Stats, so you'll get those from her every month, just in preparation for my leave. She'll be doing them while I'm gone. And she did them for the first time this month, and she did a perfect job because she's so good. Our van service resumed as of August 5th on a limited basis. We're running on Wednesdays and Fridays for medical and grocery kind of essential errands. And so far, we've provided 15 unduplicated rides. We are going to be offering transportation to the flu clinic, which is in October, and also to voting in November, if people need rides there. We're continuing with the no contact food pantry deliveries. We provided 70 pantry deliveries in the month of August. So we have a pretty steady group of people who get those deliveries. LRAP is still accepting applications for rental assistance. ERAP is still accepting applications. We just had our first 2 emergency rental assistance applications approved. So that is good news. CRED applications are due at the end of this month. So if people are still working on them, please get them to myself or Amy as soon as you can. Amy's helping people. She's already started helping people with fuel assistance applications. People need assistance, they can get in touch with Amy. Our support groups are running virtually. On the 17th, there's a Medicare fraud virtual presentation going on. And I think that, and I just wanted to mention that September is National Recovery Month. So I wanted to just let people know that the Littleton Coalition Against Addiction is available for resources and support. And if you need a COIN referral for mental health or substance abuse assistance, you can contact the Littleton Police Department. That's it.
Great. Thank you, Nicole and Ashley. Do I have a motion to accept the directors and outreach coordinators reports?
I so move.
Thank you, David. Do I have a second?
Second,
Second, Susan. Thank you, Susan. I know Sue Reynolds likes me to name the people who are making the motions and seconding. So yeah, I couldn't figure out who it was for a minute there. So thank you. All those in favor? Well, let's take a roll call. Susan, we'll start with you.
yes.
Okay, David,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
let's see, Anita,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Maureen. Maureen, she there? Oh, she had to leave early. I'm sorry. She left early. She did tell me she was leaving around 3, a little after 3. Ann Lee? Ann Lee still on? Nope, I guess not. I think she left also. Okay, then I think, and Marge is a yes. So I think we have accepted the reports. Thank you kindly. And I'm sorry we went over time a little bit here. I apologize, but we squeezed a lot in, I think. And I'm excited about the work we're going to be accomplishing on our goals. So, and thinking, looking ahead to this year, I think we might make some progress in in a couple of our areas. So thank you all for being so helpful and supportive. And those of you who are going to be on the subcommittee, you'll be hearing about that, and we'll try to set up a time that's convenient for everybody to get together and get things rolling. So, is there any other business that needs to come before the board right now?
I have one other thing. I happened to be looking at notes I took at the planning board meeting last week.
Okay.
And the hearing for the Hager Homestead was continued to October 1st.
Okay,
They will be appearing before the planning board on October 1st. I've forgotten the time. I think it might be 8:30. I can't quite remember what time, but I know it's October 1st.
okay, maybe we can send a reminder out to board members too. If people are interested, they can, watch it if possible.
I'll do that, sure.
Okay, great. That'd be great, Susan. Thank you. Okay. Any other business to come before the board before we entertain a motion to adjourn? If not, I'll entertain a motion, hear a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, David. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mark, I believe. All those in favor? Mary?
Yes.
Did I get Mary's vote before? I think I missed mine.
Yes.
Yeah, I did. Okay. David,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Maureen is gone. Let's see. Anita,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
and Marge. I think Anita, Anne-Lee and Wendy was not here and Maureen is gone. So, okay, I think we're good. So we are officially adjourned.